and welcome back to another episode on Born to Talk with Callanthea. As you are aware, this podcast is a self-improvement podcast, so the majority of my episodes are going to be about how we can improve our lives and different ways to go about doing that. And today I wanted to explore the idea of embracing doing things on our own. And I do think that a lot of us shy away from actually doing this. And yes, we do have certain reasons for it. But what I would like to do in this episode is kind of discuss some of my experiences, which hopefully you'll be able to relate to, and then discuss the benefits of actually doing things on our own. And at the end, what I'll do, I'll leave some tips for those of you that might just need a little bit more kind of a nudge in this direction and to get started by actually getting yourself out there and doing some things on your own, because I know that it can be quite uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to doing that. So I'm just going to dive right in with my own thoughts and my own experiences on this one. So, when I was younger, I used to always hang out with people, right? I had loads of friends. There was always someone to hang out with and do things with. And I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. You know, if I wanted to go into town, buy, a new top or go to the cinema, I could do that. I had friends to do that with. And I really, really enjoyed being around other people. And I distinctly remember when I used to sit in McDonald's back in the day, I distinctly remember seeing sometimes some people eating on their own. And I remember thinking how strange it was and how weird it was. And I felt really sorry for them. Like, oh, nobody loves them. They've got no friends. Like, look at them. They're on their own. How awful. And those sort of thoughts kind of carried through into my adult life, to the point where it really started to impact me as an adult if I didn't have people to do things with. So I started to really notice this when I went to university, because there was, a few times when I might have wanted to pop out or go to get food somewhere or see a certain film at the cinema, and other people either weren't available or they didn't want to do it. And I remember feeling so frustrated, like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable because all I want to do is go there for some food, and I just don't feel confident in actually going out, sitting out, and getting myself food there. And it might sound a little bit crazy. Maybe some of you listen to this thinking, oh, I'm kind of used to doing things on my own. But actually, lots of us really don't like that. It starts to kind of tie into our self worth. And I did start to notice just how uncomfortable I felt when I thought, oh, I actually need to go and do this on my own. But if I felt that uncomfortable and it wasn't that important, then I'd just give it up and I'd just not even bother. And I'd just hopefully wait for someone else to kind of be available so I can do stuff with. But that was really sending my mind the wrong message, because I probably internalized that as I'm not good enough unless I've got lots of friends to support me and do things with, which of course is absolutely ridiculous. Okay. But nonetheless, I did really feel that, especially when I was at university. And what essentially I learned is that I had to miss out on having things and doing things that I really wanted to do just because I was too scared to do them on my own. And I felt that I definitely needed people with me. I've met people that have been to the cinema on their own, right? And I remember thinking, like, that's just bizarre. Why would you go to the cinema on your own? It's a sociable thing, you go with your friends. But I think I was just kind of in that mindset because I used to do a lot of those kind of activities back in the day, with other people. And my partner now, he likes to go to the cinema on his own, especially because some films I'm really not bothered about watching that he wants to watch. So, but he says that it's really good. He enjoys it. And it has made me think that is actually one thing that I think I should try to push through and take myself to the cinema on my own one day. But of course, if other people want to go with me, I do prefer going places like that with other people. But I do think it's important to push through that discomfort and just to kind of allow ourselves to enjoy our own company in doing these things. Over the years, I've really improved on this. And that's why I think it's an important topic to discuss. That if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I just can't see how I can push through this, let me tell you, you absolutely can. And you'll actually find that you do enjoy it as well. And I'll come on to the benefits very soon, but just kind of wanted to share some other examples really of how I've kind of made steps to embrace doing things on my own. So a few years ago, I moved out of the town, my hometown, and I was living in an area completely on my own. I had no friends in the area or anything like that. And I really started to gain strength from being single, from being on my own. And, I had to do lots of things, taking the bins out. I had to go to the supermarket, do all of these things all on my own. And there were many days where it was such a beautiful day and all I wanted to do was go for a walk. And I persevered. I took myself out on a walk and I liked doing that. And it did make me realize just how much time I probably missed out on from refusing to do things on my own because I felt a bit too scared and felt that I needed someone there. But it was really sort of satisfying and rewarding when I took myself out on a date, right? Enjoyed my walk. I'd sometimes go to coffee shops, get hot chocolate. I even went to a coffee shop to do some marking once. So I was like, I'll take my marking, I'll have some hot chocolate, and I'll just enjoy this atmosphere. And I really, really did enjoy that. Even though I noticed that there were most people that were around were with someone, it just made me think I don't want to be that person that feels like they can't take themselves out. Like, this is my life. Nobody else can run it for me. So if I want to do something, I really need to start just being confident in my own skin and just enjoy being on my own. So, being single and living alone, I am in an area where I didn't have family and friends around me to begin with. I am definitely kind of pushed me to get more comfortable in doing things on my own. And I've had some kind of some really interesting conversations with people when I have taken myself out on my own. There was one time where I woke up about 5 a.m. because I wanted to go on this really nice walk. And I didn't really want there to be too many people around just because, I don't know, I just really just didn't want that on that day. So I thought, I'm going to get up, I'm going to take myself on this really nice walk. And I did. And as I was walking around, I met this old man who was also on his own. And we had a really nice conversation and we walked back together. And I thought, well, this is really nice. Like, I get these sort of interactions with strangers when I'm on my own, which is nice. You feel that human connection. And there was also this one time when I thought, right, it's a gorgeous sunny day. I was reading The Power of Now. It was like my favourite book and it is still one of my favourite books. And I took myself out on the green where my flat was. It was quite a big green, like big field. And I was sitting there enjoying reading my book on my own. And then these guys came along with quad bikes, just zooming past, being really noisy and getting quite close to me. And I remember feeling so frustrated, like, oh, this is so annoying. I'm on my own and look at them driving around, how dangerous. And then I decided to sort of change my attitude. And I thought, you know what? They're just having fun. They're not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just going to be positive and just continue reading. And then it wasn't long after I changed my mindset that they actually came up to me and asked if I wanted to go on the quad bike. And this sounds so bizarre, but I was like, yeah, go on then. So I went on this quad bike, obviously quite scared, but I do like quad bikes. They are quite fun. And I was just driving around for a little bit and I was like, oh, thanks for letting me go on it. And again, you just have those interactions with people when you're on your own, especially if you are more open minded to having these different experiences and sharing these human connections. So I really enjoyed that day. And I just think it was such a random thing that happened, but I wouldn't have experienced that if I hadn't taken myself out on my own to read that book. So another time recently, actually, I took myself to a hotel to see my friends because I live in a city. And when I got there, all the interactions I had were really positive. Got to my room and I thought, I don't want to be in my room all these hours. And there was a Toby Carvery next door. So I just took myself there to get like a drink. And I was thinking, oh, I'm on my own. It's, because I'm with someone now. Like, I'm in a relationship. So I don't really get to do those things on my own as much. But this was an opportunity for me to get in my own energy and get out there in public on my own again. So I went to this pub. I didn't have anything to eat, but I just ordered like a 0% Guinness. um, and I got talking to a few people. So I spoke to the bar guy, I spoke to one of the locals, and then another local came in and he sat at my table and we just had a conversation. Um, so again, it just kind of opened me up to realizing that I can talk to people, I can connect with people when I'm on my own. And even if I don't speak to people, I can just enjoy the atmosphere. And it was a really nice atmosphere. It was quite busy. But I just felt really comfortable in my own skin, in my own energy. And I just couldn't help but think how far I've really come along in this area because I would never have done that in the past. Like even 10 years ago, I would have struggled to have done that. So I really do see the growth that I've kind of gone through. So I enjoyed that. And those are just a few little experiences that I've had. And I don't ever want to go back to that insecure person that felt that I needed external friends, right, with me 100% of the time when I'm out in public doing things. It is a very sort of fragile place to be in when you are relying on other people. But when you can rely on yourself and you can enjoy being in your own company, then you start having more strength to kind of put yourself out there. And this is the next point now. I'm going to kind of talk about those benefits. So, the more you put yourself out there, the more confident you do become. And you do start to feel more independent as well. Some people are really good. They take themselves on like holidays and excursions and travel on their own. Um, it is something that inspires me, and I find it fascinating when people do that, especially women, because it can be quite vulnerable, to take yourself on holiday on your own. But it's something that I would like to challenge myself to do, even if it's just like a few days away, exploring an area on my own. I think I'd love to do that. But, just ultimately it gives you confidence, gives you that independence. And, that's just so important. But also, you're free to do anything that you want. So, how many times have we been, done something with someone and they disagree with us? They want to go there, but we want to go here. And it just gets a little bit more confusing because you've got to take into account everybody there. But when you're on your own, you just get to do what you want to do. Whatever you feel like doing, there's no one tying you down. So there's definitely benefits there. Um, and another really important one is that you don't get to miss out. If you take yourself out, you don't miss out anymore. Okay. There'll be loads of things that you'll really enjoy doing, might feel like you'd love to do. But if you don't give yourself that push just to do it on your own, then you're going to miss those experiences. And not just experience of what you're actually wanting to go out for, but you're missing those experiences that you could also have, those bonus experiences. So those conversations with strangers or little moments that you might miss, from nature and things like that, that if you would have gotten yourself out, you could have really enjoyed and appreciated the connections with those around you in nature. So I do think that they're really, really important benefits to obviously taking yourself out on your own. So I hope that me kind of talking about this made you start to think, yeah, I actually do want to start taking myself out more. But maybe you kind of struggle with that because you've never really done that before, right? And I've got a few tips to kind of help you along on this journey. And my first one is just to start slow. So if it feels strange, you taking yourself out for a walk, for example, just literally go for a very short walk around the block, maybe go to a local park and back. Just start slow, okay? Um, and you could also, for example, if you wanted to go take yourself out for a coffee or something like that, maybe take a laptop with you, right? Or take a book with you. So you've kind of got some distraction and something to do whilst you're there, just while you're getting used to being in your own energy and being on your own in public. Another really great tip is if you're kind of just going for walks, for example, or you don't really need to, be listening to something like you're not going to the cinema or whatever, then You can listen to music. Okay, music is so empowering. So get your favorite tunes on, and you can even get those songs that are really empowering and uplifting, as well with the lyrics and the music itself. So I know personally, I feel like I can achieve so much when I do listen to really good music. So do not underestimate the power of music. That is a really, really good one. Some people as well like to listen to podcasts when they're out and about. So you could do that as well. Whatever you enjoy listening to, essentially, it's just giving you something else to kind of focus on and enjoy whilst you're out and about. So that's a really good one to kind of think about. Um, Another one is being positive, right? Doing positive affirmations can be really transformative. They have definitely worked for me. So if you feel really insecure, right, about going out on your own, just say, like, I am confident. I like to take myself out. I am confident, right? Just keep repeating those really good affirmations that sit well with you. And when you're out and about, you'll start to feel it more, okay? So don't underestimate the power of affirmations. And lastly, okay, we all get those negative thoughts that kind of come into our minds, and it's really important to interrupt those negative thoughts or challenge those negative thoughts. It might be that you start thinking, oh, I'm really worried because people are looking at me because I'm on my own. Well, just start to think. Maybe they're kind of jealous that they can't do that, right? Maybe they wish they could do that. So just try and think it's not about what anyone else thinks. You know, you are empowering yourself by doing what you want to do and not letting any fear get in the way. Okay, so interrupt those negative thoughts, challenge those negative thoughts, and just know that you deserve a good life, right? Create that life for yourself. And like I said, there's so many amazing benefits to taking yourself out, embracing being in your own company, being in your own energy, and you'll realize that there's a lot less obstacles going forward. Okay, you don't need people to hold your hand every step of the way. You can unleash yourself, get out there, do the things you enjoy on your own. So, I really do hope that this has kind of helped inspire you to recognize you can have the confidence to do it. Okay, if I can do it, you definitely can, because I was the worst. Like I said at the beginning, I felt really sorry for people on their own, couldn't understand how people could do that, and I'm completely different now. So, growth is important. Okay, take yourself out, enjoy your life, and thank you so much for listening. And remember, stay true to you, and hopefully, I'll see you soon. I really enjoyed being with other people.